All right, and welcome to our beginning of the season podcast. I'm joined by Bankhead. Bankhead.
What up? What up?
I'm joined by Egask,
We back, baby.
Shawnee,
So
and starting us off this year, we're joined by a special guest, the man himself, our commissioner, with a few words.
Thank you, Woods. Just want to start off by saying, welcome to 2020 of the Real House Husbands Fantasy Football League. Definitely appreciative of having all of you here. The league's been running about a decade long. Hey, stronger than ever. Just want to let everybody know we're paid up, so all good there. We're starting the season as is. You guys have all the rules for the COVID, any event of anything in COVID. Yeah, looking forward to a good season. And then after this season, we'll be voting on some things, such as in the winter meetings, maybe adding a IDP spot, a super flex, taxi, that sort. So always looking to continue to grow the league. First and foremost, thank you and welcome to 2020.
All right, so you heard it here first. Superflex next year, great. Moving on.
let's knock that out. I love it.
So first thing we thought we would do is take a look back and talk about this off season. It was kind of crazy. Some new faces, including myself. What were you gonna say, Ben?
I'm right here. I'm on this little podcast real quick.
Thank God, no interruptions.
Be right
So we got some new faces. So I thought it'd be neat to look back and see what were the best moves from the off season. You were allowed to pick your own team, so you may hear some bias, and also what was the worst. So let's start off with the positive first. So we're gonna go down the list. We'll start with we'll give Bankhead some time. So Egas, we'll start with you. What was your most favorite
Hey,
move
come
done
back.
by a team?
Still looking.
All right, Shawnee.
Well, you know me, like you said, no bias. I'm gonna say my own team. I got a team with I had Gurley, Bell, a lot of old heads with injuries or dying value. So I really like what I did. I just traded for Hollywood Brown without giving up a first. I think he's gonna have a big year. Me and Bankhead, we was able to come to an agreement for DJ Moore. He's a young asset. He's a contending team. So I gave him what he needed, and he gave me exactly what I needed to build around a young team and get picks. So I like the direction that I'm headed and getting all the young players plus picks. So I see a bright future for me. And then other than that, I don't know. Y'all can take it on from there.
All right, Tico. What about you?
I guess if we're going for best moves of the all season, without being biased about myself, I have to say all those trades that the champ was making, man. At the beginning of the off season, the man was just moving pieces, and just everybody was giving the man what he wanted to help him build a super team. So I have to say, GM of the off season had to be Bankhead.
All right, so just all of Bankhead. All right, Bankhead, you got some praise there. What about you? What do you think is your, or not even yours, but what do you think was the best move?
The best move. It sucks because I'll have to be a little biased here, but I was going through all the lists. But then I kind of stopped on one that I think this was me and Shawnee did with Matt Breida and Daniel Jones. And because I truly feel like Matt Breida is one of those guys that he's probably never going to really be healthy, and he's probably never going to really give you what you hoped or expected out of fantasy football. You know what I mean? He just seems to be that kind of guy that you always keep putting faith in, and if he stays healthy or if he wins the job or whatever the case is, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's almost going to be a waste of a player, and to the point that I feel like Daniel Jones will be a top 6-7 quarterback in fantasy football going forward.
I
So,
get it. Can I put this into context, though?
for
Of
sure.
what happened with that trade? All right, so you see that same trade, right?
He flipped them.
I actually gained a pick that actually I selected A.J. Dillon in that pick.
Okay.
I selected A.J. Dillon, which turned into a first-round pick for next year. On top of that, I took Matt Breida just like 3 days ago and sent them in a package to get Hollywood Brown. So I
Okay,
started all of that for Daniel Jones.
yeah. So speaking on
Yeah.
what you done
Just to
after
put into
that, you know,
context.
great,
Yeah,
great
just to
work.
put it in context.
But if
That's
he's
what
looking
I
in the
meant.
context of
Not,
the trade, I get where Bankett's coming from.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I just, like, it's not always, that initial trade. It may seem like, because I knew what Bankhead wanted, and that was a good move. Yeah, but I knew exactly. But what I started to do, I actually, I had a problem. Like, Tico, I was in this other league. I tanked the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to put it on the league, like, not start and play. Like, I didn't really know the rules. So this time, as you can see, I did it the right way, fair and square. I don't even have a starting quarterback on my team.
I was just looking
So
at that.
how can I win? And who could be mad? I can't do anything. I can't do nothing.
Yeah, I appreciate the bye week.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I'm doing it fair, nobody can say anything.
I'm contending for a championship. I appreciate any win I can get.
All right. So that was a good move. And, yeah, just put it in the context. It's funny because you could have kept that pick, got AJ Dillon, and we still probably could have.
Yeah, possibly, but things work out how they work out. Training camp did its thing. I wasn't big on AJ Dillon until a month ago. So. Because I'm a college football fan, huge college football fan, and I was never that big on him in college. And he was a great college football player,
I was gonna say, I love him.
All right, hold on. We're gonna come back to this anyway, so it don't even matter.
Yeah,
Trust me.
absolutely.
I already got plans for that trade. Egas, what's your favorite move?
I think the best off.
Oh, there he goes. Are you here?
Can
Say
you
it
hear?
one more time?
There you go. I can hear you now. Go for it.
I think Bankhead had the best offseason. Rich got rich. And I think big part in that, I gave him quite a few pieces to help build a super team.
Yeah, that Devontae Adams
Like
deal
that.
still hurts my heart.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I got what I need.
You got your Jacobs. I would not trade him to him. he was always getting annoyed with me. All right, so my deal, I still got to go with it. I'm looking back, and I was trying to find someone else's just so I could be impartial. And then I said, screw it, because I still love this deal, is my deal for Austin Eckler. Traded away Kendrick Bourne. Okay, yes. He might get some play now because all the other receivers are hurt, but
Yeah.
He's trash.
What was the rest of it? Continue.
I'm getting through it. Devontae Freeman don't got a team.
Oh
So
my god.
what ended up happening was I traded Bankheads first, which is the back end, for Eckler,
Exactly.
essentially. And I will take that trade every day.
10 times out of 10.
Yeah, I think Eckler's going to be a RB1 for the next 2 or 3 years, and he's the one
I
that's
as
going to
well.
have a better chance of staying healthy because he's a pass catcher instead of a grinder.
And he's a physical small guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not one of those little guys that don't have weight and muscle on him. Like, he's a big, small back.
Exactly.
And even
Once
for the
again,
people
like
who might bring up Kelly, I mean, he did a split time with Gordon and was still an RB1, so I'm not really too worried about it.
Oh no, I agree. Like I said when I was looking at it, I asked him about James Conner, and that's when I had 2.1 in my possession. I'm thinking, at the offseason, nobody really liked James Conner. I mean, people started to get worried. Oh, they drafted this player, so he's like, oh, I need more. But he turned around and traded you 112 for Austin Eckler. Yeah. I
If
don't
we're
get
looking
that
for the
one.
best individual trade, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my name in that hat because that first three-way trade that was happening, I sent David Johnson, DeAndre Washington, Juju Smith-Schuster, Josh Jacobs, Will Disley, Steven Sims, and a couple picks, and got Hollywood, Devontae, David Montgomery, Hunter Renfro, and Miles Sanders. I think that was
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that
that was
sounds
the
like
best
robbery.
individual trade.
Who'd you do that with?
I mean, that sounds even though.
You and Simply.
Nah, because he got the better
I
running
got
backs
Jacobs in
back
that
with
deal.
Miles Sanders and David Montgomery, and he got Devontae.
But none of that was for me, for the most part. I got Jacobs.
Right, but I'm saying this is what he received out of what he gave up. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was
I gave
big-
up the first round pick. I mean, 101, remember? AJ Green, T.Y. Hilton, and you got DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd.
That's a
all
nice
right,
package
all right.
back,
We
too.
all got our own good deals. Now we get to crap on everybody else.
Yeah, I'm
All
just
right.
saying, it's hard to pick.
All right, so
Pick
my
one.
worst deal, I'll just make it quick and simple because I already told him it was coming. I could not believe the other day when I saw that AJ Dillon trade coming from nobody else other than Bankhead. We're all ready to anoint Bankhead as champion, and then I see that garbage come through, and I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, and I'm like, this makes no sense. Like, I didn't understand
It
it.
makes sense.
Maybe for the not for the price. Let me rephrase that. For the price, it made no sense to me.
If you got it, spend it.
Now is it on me to defend it?
Now you can, but I mean everybody else.
Because-
if I crap on other people, they can't defend it.
Yeah. So me as a football fan, I truly 100% believe that Aaron Jones will be playing elsewhere next year. And I think A.J. Dillon will be the starting running back in Green Bay next year. That's the reason I gave up what I gave up for. I don't think they're going to pay Aaron Jones what he's looking for. And with that last year on this deal, I think they're going to just kind of look at it like this is going to be the year they're going to finally bring in those other weapons on the offensive end and spend that money on that side of the ball or that part of the team. But me personally, I look at it as I could possibly have 2 starting running backs next year.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's go to the commish. Commish, what do you think was the worst deal?
Darius Nice for David Johnson.
Yeah, that was like the best deal of all time. I'll take that any day. But once again, that David Johnson has let me down 2 years in a row, and I'm putting a lot of stock in the players that have probably let me down 3 years in a row. But that's just personally. Worst deal is anybody who is just stacking Bankhead. Like, seriously, fuck you, Mark.
What the fuck?
I really don't see it that way, man. I swear. It's always good trades. Like, you can't help it.
I will say this: Bankett's easy to deal with. I feel like I know where I
Yeah.
stand, so I think that helps him get his deals done. Whereas other times, with like this, almost every other owner, it feels like they're always trying to play coy, which, I get it.
Yeah.
But with Bankhead, he's so blunt. It's like, all right,
Because I'll understand your middle ground. You know what I mean? And if your middle ground is too ridiculous, I'll just cut off negotiations. It's not worth even talking. So if it sounds like we can get to somewhere, then I'll continue. And if I need to throw in a little, because this is how I look at a trade. If I'm coming to you about a trade, it's the guy's on your team, so you have to have some feelings for the guy. So I gotta give up a little more than what it will probably require to get that guy off of your team. But sometimes I may have someone on your team that I didn't even know that you had a little interest in. So you know what I mean, and that's how I try to look at it before I send the deal. But because I understand I'm going to have to give a little more if this guy's going to want to pull the trigger. If it's not even close, they're going to just completely just wipe it off like I didn't even send a trade. Like that guy Kenny West or whatever the hell. I hate that guy. But you know what I mean. Like if you don't even respond, like you don't even respond to my trade. Like, come on, I don't know.
Kenny West.
I think what Mark is saying is if you want to get your guy, expect to overpay a little bit. You have
to.
Think that's the main thing when that's the way I see it when I trade too. I know I make some ridiculous
It's not
trades.
Tico way.
Yeah,
sometimes Tico can go a little far with it, but I understand what he's doing. He's going after his guy, and he understands too. Look, I'm not trying to do a 3-4 hour negotiation with you about this player. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go ahead and give up a little more right now, see where we at, and then Tico also understands too. He'll notice that you're still trying to chip a little more off, like 'cause he knows, like, come on, I'm already giving you a lot. You know what I mean? Don't go too far.
Here, who does everyone hate doing deals with? Out of the people who actually try.
It's just only people that don't respond.
You know what I mean? Let's finish. That's a great point, Sean. Let's do that one right out. Let's just finish this. All right, let's finish it. I'll come back to that. So, Bankhead, worst deal. What do you think?
Yeah, and this one, it may seem like a simple, petty deal or whatever, because it probably won't have too many ramifications on who wins a championship this year. But it was between Alex and Egas, and it was Latavius Murray and a fifth for 2 guys that aren't on the roster.
Who were the 2 players?
Bonifin and Scarlett, the backups for McCaffrey. And neither one of them are even on the team today. Someone picked up Latavius Murray in the 5th round pick for nothing.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's this?
Oh, I was gonna go to you next, Egas. You can refute that, or you can just move on to your worst trade.
Oh no, that was a great trade for me. I don't. that was an amazing trade. The worst trade I think I was involved in as well, and it was me sending fuck, hold on, let me go to it. It was
Devontae
me getting
Adams.
Jacobs in the first and sending, I think it was Devontae Adams, Devin Singletary, Hollywood a second.
Oh, yeah,
Like
that
a
was,
fifth.
yeah, that was me.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So basically,
I
what
wanted
Tico's saying
Jacobs,
to
though.
Egas is fuck you.
I wanted Jacobs. Went out and got him.
Shawnee, what about you, man? What's your worst trade?
I think I did a lot of over trading, just rebuilding the team. So I'm gonna say me selling Calvin Ridley for the 1.7.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
what was
think-
that?
I think-
Who went
Calvin
for
Ridley
1.7?
for 1.7.
Oh, really?
I gave him
Yeah.
away for 1.7.
I don't
And
think
do
that's
you
too
remember
bad.
who got drafted at 1.7?
I actually traded up with Vernon to get Akers. So it really didn't turn out bad. I can't say it turned out
Calvin.
bad.
It
But I
essentially
just
was
know if I
Calvin
held-
Ridley
if
for
I held
Jalen
him-
Rager.
But no, it
Shannon,
would've
your
been
worst
Lamb.
trade. Your worst trade was David Johnson for Geis. Period.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Wait, what?
Yeah, that one sucks.
Was that straight up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because y'all started complaining about our conditional picks.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
The,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
quote unquote dream pick.
Yeah, them imaginary picks y'all was talking
Oh,
about.
yeah, I remember that. All right, so I like what Shawnee said. It wasn't on our little show sheet, but we're gonna go with it anyways. All right, really quick, and we're not gonna spend a ton of time. Worst person you feel trading with? Like, what has been your least fun time having a trade deal?
I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
It's simply. That's my boy, but God, he just hardballs everything.
Yeah.
And he'll be hardballing on people that don't matter. Like, come on now.
Yeah, like the Jameson Crowder thing. That's how we got to that.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll make mine. We go super quick. I'm right there with you guys.
Good.
It was gonna be simple. It's every one of his players is just about to pop off, and your scrubs. I don't know, man. I think you need to throw in a first with that. I'm trading up
All right, for me,
some real juicy, players here.
it's actually not Simply. It's Rhodes because I think he's worse than Simply.
He was next, yo.
I ain't gonna lie. He really like you said. He thinks Devin Singletary is top 6. That's out of his mouth. Sammy Watkins is a wide receiver 1. I don't know. It's never ending. It's never
And-
ending.
I'm going to say I'm assuming we're just automatically excluding Marn.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
when she's
okay,
around,
okay.
she makes deals.
Okay,
No,
all right.
No.
I said
She
for people who actually
No.
trade. This is
Never
for,
traded.
this is
20 years
Trade.
later, I've seen her make like 3 trades, yo.
Hey, she
Okay,
made,
all
that's
right.
more than I expected.
I'm going to personally exclude her then, and then I'm
Yeah.
going to agree with Shawnee, and I'm going with Rhodes. Like, Rhodes thinks every player on his team is the best player on that team. And it's so hard to do a trade with someone, and every person you ask for, they think, well, I think he's going to be the next. Come on, man. Everyone on your team can't be a superstar,
Philip Lindsay's going to be the best player in free agency in 2021, and my name is Rhodes.
And his titles for wide receiver 1s are just so blasphemous that I refuse to do a trade with wide receivers involved with him.
All right, Tico, Kamish, who's the worst trading person?
I'm going to either go with Shani or Ozzy.
Oh God, I forgot
Oh,
about Ozzy.
how did I miss Ozzy?
I forgot about Ozzy, yo.
Sorry, Rose. My apologies.
Nah,
I'll take it back.
Shani or Ozzy. Those would be the two. Me and Shani, we in like so many fucking leagues, and like we never get a deal. Never can get a deal done. I think the
always
David
get
Johnson
deal
deal was
done,
the only
though.
deal we
no,
got done.
we always get deal done, Tico. You lying.
We
You don't
can
even
fuck
know this. He doesn't
Oh,
even know this. I got all your picks in every
And then with
league.
Ozzy, I mean, yeah, I don't care about picks anyway. You can have those, but
No, I'm saying so we
Ozzy.
get the deal done.
Ozzy, this motherfucker, he thinks he's a lawyer, so for everything he has to say every fucking thing. It could be the simplest trade. Here, I'll give you a first for Deshaun Watson, but my first is going to turn into such and such, and by the rule of optimism and such and such. Shut the fuck up, bro.
Hey, you just gotta
Yo,
worry
Ozzy
about
does be
Ozzy bringing
there.
up BMI.
Yeah, I
I mean,
yeah,
that's right. That's
that
funny
big
because I look at Kamish, I look at Tico and Shawnee as the easiest people to trade with.
Thank
I
you. God
like. I mean,
damn.
if I send Shawnee a trade, if he don't like it, he'll counter it with something so close. You know what I mean? That I'm like, okay, we got something to work with. Teak, I mean,
Or
he's
tell
just
you no.
Teak. Or just flat out no. You know what I mean? Or Teak, he just going, look, here's 15 players and 17 draft picks. Give me Deshaun Watson. Okay. You know, he
But
just makes
Tico-
it easy. Like he wants his guys, he's going to pay value for them, and you know what I mean. He makes it pretty simple for the most part.
I honestly feel like I never really give my guys up. I honestly feel like I be giving trash away to get who I want, and I still keep people.
That's how it should. That's how everybody feels.
You contend every year, so
I will say,
So,
just
yeah,
be
who-
glad we're doing
yeah,
this
who's the
league,
easiest?
Tico, and not the Savages League, because that Bryce Love, Hayden Hurst trade for Philip Lindsay is looking better and better by the day.
Oh no, that was a good trade on your end. I kind of regret the Bryce Love part of that because they could have got done with just Philip Lindsay and Hayden Hurst because I didn't need Hayden Hurst. I got Waller and Henderson.
Yeah.
But Bryce Love, I could have used him for my running back stable or some running back depth. But hey, more power to you for that one. I do got Philip Lindsay, which is my handcuff. So
All
I'm
right.
not too
I
mad.
mean, it looked like.
All right, we'll stay in this league. I just had to, like, you mentioned Philip
No.
Lindsay. I wanted to sneak that in there.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, who do we think is going to be? You say we talked about breakout guys. Did you mean like as in fantasy football players or actual athletes?
No, fantasy football players.
So, really quick, just going down the list. Who was your one player who is not a top, but wasn't a one, wasn't a wide receiver one, running back one, quarterback one, who's going to make that leap this year? Let's start off with, let's go with Shawnee.
I'm not gonna go with my boy Deontay, but he gonna be right there. I'm gonna go with Hollywood Brown.
All right, Jamison Crowder.
Hollywood Brown. That's what I'm gonna go with Hollywood.
All right. Any reasoning?
I just see what he did with a screw in his foot. And like people don't you don't understand the separation that he gets on screen plays, you know, because Lamar Jackson just freezes the defense. And now they got J.K. Dobbins. It's gonna be 8 in the box. There's no way that he's just gonna have too much space to operate. And he put on what 20 pounds of muscle. I think he's just gonna take off this year.
All right, Tico, who's your player that's going to break into the one category?
And real quick, before Tico goes, I just wanted to say, like, I agree with Shawnee on that. My only thing is with that style of offense and Lamar Jackson's accuracy, how much of a leap can this really be? You know, so I still think Lamar Jackson still has another step to take throwing the ball. And
I also question the muscle he added this year. All that muscle he added, is it going to take off that high end speed? So that's one thing I really want to look at as well when it comes to Hollywood Brown.
yeah.
All right. Well,
But
Tico,
as
what do you
far
think?
as a player to jump off this year, I'm going to have to go with Will Fuller. I see Will Fuller making that leap to wide receiver one if he stays healthy. He'll get all the targets. He's going to get everything downfield. Deshaun Watson's going to keep the play alive, let him get open, just like he used to do for D-Hop. So everything's in the making for Will Fuller to make that leap to wide receiver one if he stays healthy. And if he stays healthy, I actually see him at an all-pro level.
Cooks is better.
That's a little far.
Yeah, he ain't going to stay healthy,
The
though.
wide receiver
Anyways.
one.
And it's funny that y'all say that because I kind of agree with Tico on the wide receiver one for him for sure. And I agree with Shawnee as well that if anything happens to Will Fuller, I think Brandon Cooks will give you a wide receiver one numbers in that offense with Deshaun Watson. I really do
Is that your
believe Brandon
pick?
Cooks will give you wide receiver one. No, that is not my pick.
All right, Bankhead. Go ahead. What's your pick then?
It's no surprise who my pick is. I've tried to pick him up in every league since Adrian Peterson was cut. Antonio Gibson. I feel like this kid is going to give us some next level stuff that like, you know how when Kamara came out of nowhere as a 3rd round pick and just jumped onto the scene. I think Gibson gives us something very similar to that where you're going to get running back 2 numbers right out of the gate. And towards the end of the season, when you know they're steady playing behind or whatever, he'll be pushing for those RB1 numbers easily.
All right.
I just think it's terrible.
Absolutely.
It is.
That helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really
Nothing to
doesn't.
do with the
It
Reds.
doesn't though. It doesn't.
Nothing
It
to
really
do with the Reds.
It does.
It doesn't.
Egas, what about you, man?
for his style of play, it helps.
Egas, who's your
I'm
one?
going DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf.
Big year. Russell Wilson and him developed a good chemistry last year. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right,
I'm gonna hit it.
DK Metcalf. In case your mic did cut a little bit there, so DK Metcalf is your one. Mine's easy. It's on my team. I have two of them, I can say, but I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire immediately becomes an RB1 just with that offense.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
His primary backup is sitting out the season, and then I think another one of Egas' favorite receivers, who he didn't happen to have in this league, Debo. Now that he's healthy, he's gonna be there.
Ayuk.
Ayuk ain't gonna do anything. Debo still
Ayuk.
gonna get his touches.
Ayuk's the safety kid.
All right.
Y'all let's see.
Week
And one
one
more thing.
matchups. So, as we head into week
I
one,
was actually hoping we could get into some maybe wide receiver, running back ones that we think are going to decline or maybe not
Aaron
give
Jones.
the production.
all right, we
I
can
like it.
name one. All right, Banco, who you got going down?
And the reason I mention it because I had one on my mind, which is DJ Moore, and it just kind of sucks for him, is because I have no belief in Teddy Bridgewater in fantasy football. I love Teddy Bridgewater as a guy. I think Teddy Bridgewater is very serviceable as an NFL quarterback. He is not a quarterback I want to have anything to do with any of the offense if he's throwing it in fantasy football, except Christian McCaffrey, of course. He's a rare breed. But the DJ Moore, his style of play, like, he doesn't get a lot of separation. He's not the most explosive wide receiver already. So most of his catches are contested. And a guy like Teddy Bridgewater doesn't throw the ball downfield that often. You know what I mean? So, I guess I can see PPR. You would be satisfied with what you'll get from DJ Moore because he'll get you a lot of those 8 to 10 catch games, but he just doesn't score enough. And Bridgewater doesn't throw enough touchdowns. So I'm kind of worried about that. And I know Matt Rule and Robbie Anderson has a relationship, and him signing over there this year. I don't know. I heard him and Bridgewater had some rapport too. So I'm kind of afraid for DJ.
all right. I have an easy one, so I'll just knock it out. Julian Edelman, he's gone. I mean,
Yeah, those days are done.
it was nice while it lasted. He has no fantasy value anymore. I'm glad I got rid of him way earlier. Egas, what about you, Mel? What do you got?
I don't see it.
Oh, Egas, your internet hates you.
I got one.
All right,
Me
Shawnee.
and Bank had an argument about this. Kenyon Drake greater than Aaron Jones. Simple.
So you're saying?
I think they're both gonna have down years.
So you're
No,
saying?
Aaron Jones is gonna have that down year.
So you're saying Jones no longer?
I mean,
RB1.
if you're comparing it to last year,
No,
yeah.
I'm just saying. In
But
general.
I think Aaron Jones still gives you running back one numbers this year.
Yeah, Aaron Jones gonna give you running back one number. Like, it might not be 23 touchdowns.
Right.
no, I'm saying, I don't
I'm
think
not
he's gonna
happy
be a
with
running
that.
back one period.
You'll be happy
I
with
don't
Aaron
think
Jones.
he's
this year.
RB1.
Draft Aaron Jones in the first round, and you'll still be happy with what you
Yes,
get.
I
No,
agree.
I won't. I wouldn't. That's all I got. I would.
Egas, sounds like we could hear you again. Do you want to try and say yours?
Kenyon Drake.
Oh, okay.
My guy.
Is there any reasoning?
I just don't believe in them personally.
Fair enough. All right,
Oh,
Tico.
you mean as a human being? No, I'm kidding.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Tico?
That's
who's
exactly what it
dropping out?
sounded like. I hate that nigga.
Overachieving
Shit.
in life.
I don't like the hood he's from. Okay.
I mean,
exactly
he's on
what it
a Miami
sounded like.
team with no one in front of him, and still lost the starting position. Chase Edmonds, I think that's the one to watch out for in that running back group.
Yeah,
I
Drake.
got him on my team. Come trade
the
for him.
point Evan is trying to get to, is it's hard to believe in somebody who you've only really seen have a starting role for a season and a half. It's like he put up great numbers, he's in a great offense, but he couldn't win. He couldn't win the job at Alabama, couldn't win the job in Miami, and so what makes you think he should win the job of my starting line of my fantasy football team? That's that's exactly how I feel, and I could co-sign with Evander there.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, though? What's your pick for dropping out?
Pick for dropping out. Man.
Well, he
I
was
think
never
it's
in
Leonard
there.
Fournette. I think it's Leonard Fournette. And I think it's an easy one too.
Yeah, that's easy.
And I know that
Even like-
hurts you. I know that hurts you, Tico.
How does that hurt me? Because I got rid of his ass in Savage,
Well,
and everybody thought I was crazy.
No,
No,
I
you
meant
still
because the
crazy.
love
Yeah,
you
he
had
went to
for
the
him. I
Bucks.
meant the original love like the hope
Oh,
you
yeah,
had for
I
him.
used-
Yeah,
I used to say,
Hold on, though.
I used to
He
say
went to the
Fournette was Baby
Buccaneers.
Zeke.
yeah.
He went to the Buccaneers. Don't get that.
I still think he's not going to do it. I think he's just going to have to split too much time.
I think,
it's too
yeah.
many mouths to feed.
With
It's too many
who?
mouths to feed.
But for who?
Okay.
Well, I think LaShawn McCoy is definitely playing all the third down.
What?
Like
Oh
when
my
they got rid of the
Rhodes,
other guy,
Rhodes.
what's his name,
Rhodes.
Dare Ogunwale or whatever. Once they cut him, that established that LaShawn McCoy is going to play, bro. He is going
Is
to play
Rhodes
a
there?
lot.
Here's how I see it playing out. LaShawn McCoy is going to get those third downs, and I see it as
Set
Rojo
out.
has the Bruce Arians is building Rojo up so he could lose the job. Oh, it's Rojo's job. Rojo's RB1, but really what he's saying is the second that motherfucker fumbles, the second he does not get into the end zone on a goal line, goal and one, Fournette's coming in, and Fournette's going to get the bulk of the carries. But I
Exactly.
still think it's too many mouths to feed there for him to have a realistic fantasy, a realistic good fantasy outlook.
Yeah, and I think the hope is for Ronald Jones to show a little bit of anything for them to get some trade value out of him, because Leonard Fournette is going to be the starting running back by the playoffs of fantasy football for the
Y'all
Tampa Bay
talking
Bucks.
Lenny up, 'cause
No, I'm just saying he will be the
McCoy is
starter
trash.
by then.
he sat out the Super Bowl
But-
on the best team in the league.
That's because he wasn't on steroids at that time. He's back on steroids now, so he's okay.
But the problem is, I don't think they're going to find a trade partner for Ronald Jones, so he'll stay on the roster. I think he'll continue to eat into the touches throughout the season, and LaShawn McCoy will have a heavy role. Tom Brady will trust him. He's going to be probably one of the best pass blockers. We all know Shady can block. He's got the best hands. Like, Tom Brady loves throwing to the running back. Shady is going to play a lot.
Sounds like
I
somebody
got
needs
you.
to trade him
Believe
Shady,
it.
get some value.
Yeah, please.
I don't want the old
I'll trade you
We'll trade
Shady
for
and
that.
Savage.
No thanks.
All
I only
right.
want Gibson.
Let's get down to our matchups, and I'm first up against the Beers. Sleeper has me losing 72% of the time. What do you guys think? I'm gonna not vote on this one because I'm obviously gonna vote for myself. But let's hear it. So let's go down the list. Who you picking, Bankhead?
All right, let me pull that game here. All right, and I'm going to go down the list here quickly. I don't like... Oh, no. Oh, my God. What is going on with the Bears team?
I told y'all.
Yeah, there's no way this team is going to win 2 games this year.
Nah, it's a way. It's a way you're going to.
Oh, well, I forgot. We got a few tank teams in, but... Yeah, I mean, I see Wood 1-0. I mean, the quarterback matchup is probably going to be close. I can easily see Cousins getting in a pretty, shootout with Green Bay in game 1. I do think Roethlisberger is going to tear my Giants defense to fucking shreds. But Marlon Mack probably is going to be splitting those carries from day 1. Even though I don't hate Marlon Mack, but he's going to be splitting those carries day 1. That comparison with Eckler shouldn't be close. I think Connor loses his job by mid-season. I don't like Connor at all. Curtis Samuel, they said he's looking terrible in camp. This is year 3 for him. I still yet to see anything. I guess I kind of feel like with him how I feel about Drake, not as much with Kenyon Drake though, because he's shown a little something. But this long in the NFL, you're supposed to show you're a star by now. If you're supposed to be a star, or whatever, and I see nothing from him. So I think this should be a whooping week 1.
All right. Egas, who you got? All right. I can't hear you again. Shawnee, who you got?
I'm gonna go with your team. But I don't like that you have to start Antonio Gandy Golden.
I actually just changed that because
Oh,
Devo,
okay.
Devo was hurt. That was why I just put that in there.
All right, yeah. So, yeah, I think on your side you just got too much firepower. It might not be a blowout if Samuel actually is just decent. But Devontae Parker playing against the Patriots, I don't like that. I know he had a big game at the end of the season, but I think that was kind of fluke, and he's already banged up. And Michael Pittman, first game in the NFL, even though they're playing against the Jaguars, I think they're going to run the ball, kill the clock, win that game easy. So, yeah, I got you winning week 1.
All right, Tico.
I'm gonna have to go with Woods. I know the projection says Lee, but I mean Lee is still recovered.
Nothing about these lineups say Lee winning.
Hold on. Well, let me see. I thought it said
No. You're right. The projection says it, but
It does. It
I'm
says
saying
they're gonna win.
Yeah, but I'm saying nothing
Oh, yeah.
about these players suggests that he's going to win this game. I don't know
Yeah,
where the
nothing
projection
about
is
the
coming
players
from.
suggests that.
Agreed. I think the projections are way off. To me, his team name says it all. Recovery. I think Lee knows exactly where he's at right now. So
Yeah.
we're
But
gonna
it's
let him
messy,
continue to rebuild.
All right, Egas, we'll try one more time. Go ahead and say what you are typing.
Could be a close one. Whole lot of question marks on both sides. I'm going with Wood in this one though.
There we go. Perfect.
That's
All right, 4-0, and again, that's gonna be our rule. If you're in the game, you're not allowed to vote. So, next up, we got Tico versus Alex. Let's start off again. Bankhead, who you got? We're just gonna keep that order. So,
Yep, and these some loaded squads here, but I mean we're talking about Alex as one of the favorites to win it all this year. I'm expecting him to get off to a good start. I'm gonna have to take Alex to start off 1-0.
all right, Egas, who you got?
Alex. Week 1.
just that blunt.
That's it. That's all he's got to say. Just
I
one.
mean, you're getting 150 points from McCaffrey, Barkley, and Thomas. Sorry, Tico, but you ain't getting that one.
All right, Shawnee, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Alex. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to give it to Alex. Not saying it's easy because Tico got the X factor, the strong IDP, but Alex is not so bad either. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to him because those two running backs with Thomas and Wentz is no slouch. He's playing against the Redskins, so I think even though Deshaun Watson might be in the shootout, I think Alex wins that close battle.
And that's the one thing Tico does have on his side is he's got a lot of guys in that Kansas City-Houston game. And that being first game of the year, I think we're looking at a 44-40 type of game. He should get a lot of production out of that first game.
Yeah, I don't think it's a landslide at all. I just
No, me either. Because Tico has a team that's going to contend as well this year. I just think Alex has one of the favorites.
My only
Right.
Up until bye weeks.
I like bye weeks. I think will mess with Alex, but I'm taking Alex. Tico, I understand built his team around defense. Not around, but has a strong defensive team. But that can be so hit or miss. Maybe if the other team plays away from Billy from Wagner or Buda Baker, just doesn't get involved that week. Which typically, I'm just saying what the points say. I know they'll be involved, but can Baker get honestly 24 points? I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, Baker's gonna get 20 points.
That may be, but I'm saying with those three players that we've already alluded to with McCaffrey, Barkley, and Thomas, it's sickening how awesome that looks on screen. So I just got to go with Alex. So
Hey,
2-4.
I'll say this for you guys. Great picks, but everybody picked Jared to win the league last year, and I whooped his ass last year too. So, and Jared has Alex.
And I got it. I got him week 1 too.
All right. Hey,
So
Shawnee,
I'll
you
say
write this
that.
down, by the way?
Right, which one?
Write down the picks so we
pick.
can come back to them next week.
Yeah, all right, let's go back.
All right, next we got the battle of the bums. I'll just go with that one. We got Bum Squad and the Sky.
Bum,
Ain't
bum,
Falling.
bum, bum.
I'll go first. I'll give you some time there, Bankhead. I think that right now, I mean, they're both playing all starters. I'll give them that. I think Shawnee's team is more dependent on rookies, and I think the same thing that'll affect me a little bit, maybe to a lesser degree, is rookies didn't get the preseason, and they're just going to be hurting a little bit more to start. you really have Justin Herbert starting right now?
This guy doesn't have a
Bro,
starting
I don't have a
quarterback, and the
starting
projections
quarterback.
are 10 points away.
I gotta go with Simply just because he doesn't have as many
He's
rookies in his starting lineup. Like, he only has Swift, from what I can see. I think it's a battle of the. I think the projections are off. I think we see him around 150.
No, the projection has to be off.
Yeah.
I don't
And-
have a starter.
So Bankhead, who you got?
I'm going with Shawnee.
Good looking.
Montgomery's not playing week 1, if I'm mistaken. Swift isn't expected to play week 1. Who knows what Preston Williams is going to look like week 1? Will Dissly's basically a backup tight end too. I mean, he doesn't have a quarterback, and I'm still picking him to win. As I'm going through this list, I mean, he's still probably going to win this game. I'm going to go Shawnee.
All right, Egask, who you got?
Do I have to pick someone?
You have to pick someone.
I think Shawnee's gonna win this game.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you.
I don't know. Nah, I'm gonna go with Simply, bro.
Oh,
There
he
ain't
flip-flopped.
to someone-
The man has
there
like
ain't
3-4
to
players
someone
in the
without a starting quarterback.
This is a
There's no way you lose to someone without a starting quarterback. There's no way.
All
It's
right,
about
Simply,
to happen.
I'm going with Simply.
Tico, what do you think?
I can't go against somebody without a starting quarterback. It's just that simple. Like, you have a better chance if you had a starting quarterback.
All right, put it like this: Nick Foles will start halftime.
Oh god.
Oh my God! Your best bet though is like, hope that one of those games, one of those guys are in a blowout or something. You know what I mean? And you could just play one that you may think, say if you think Carolina's going to blow out the Raiders or something, and you want to put Mariota in, maybe he gets a fourth quarter plan. You're fucked, bro. I don't know what the hell's going on. It doesn't matter.
I'm happy. Let's
All right.
keep going.
All right, next one. So another big game, man. We got Tico's game, and then we got this game. Two big guys going at it. So we've got Bankhead and Egask. I'll go first. Yeah, I think I can sum this one up pretty simply. Egask is unfortunately going to pay for some of those deals he made to Bankhead. I think you're going to see like Devontae Adams pop off and have a big week, and that'll screw him over. I think it's close. I don't think it's going to be, I think 10 points maybe. But I mean, just some of these starting players. I don't know. DK Metcalf is such a question mark because either I feel like pops off or he's really quiet. So I'm gonna go with Bankhead, just eking it out. What about you, Shawnee?
All right, so for me, yeah, I'm gonna go with Bankhead, but the reason why is because I see these matchups, DK Metcalf, and I just see the matchup. Cleveland playing Baltimore. Yeah, he's gonna need all the points he can get. And Odell and Hooper going off in the same game, I don't see it. I have Hayden Hurst breaking out. First game, Matt Ryan, they're gonna pass probably like 35, 40 times. So yeah, I just gotta give it to Bankhead. Kansas City versus Houston, first game of the year. It's gonna be a shootout. It's simple, but just like Tico game, it's gonna be close, but I'll give it to Bankhead.
All right, Tico, what do you think?
So I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to have to give it to Bankhead for two reasons. One, Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback play in this one, and going against a Houston defense whose secondary is just not there, non-existent. Two, the reason why I pick myself in my game is because of the bonuses. And Mark knows how to build a roster to the bonuses of this league, the bonuses and the escalators of this league, because he's been playing in it for so long. One thing the newbies always forget is the scoring. And the scoring in this league definitely makes a difference. And if you can build your roster around the scoring, the bonuses and the escalators, it makes a hell of a difference. That's why I gave Mark the edge in it.
So are you calling Egask a newbie?
No, he's not a newbie, but Mark knows how to build his team around those bonuses, though.
All right. So now we get
Evander's team is no slosh. Let's put it like that. Evander's has a pretty damn good
That's
team.
one of the teams that's going to contend for the title for sure.
But we're all in
Definitely
agreement so far. You're
Definitely
saying
have
he
some big
starts off 0-1.
primetime games this week one. Got some big primetime games week one.
All right, on to Osmosis versus.
And real quick, that trade, I mean that week 1 game could look a lot different if he guys finally comes off of Gibson. You know, so we'll see.
So Gibson playing in this game. I haven't messed with this roster. I haven't messed with my starting roster, but I do think Bankhead's gonna get this game.
All right, so we have Marin versus Osmosis. Since you guys didn't get to talk last one, you guys can go first. So Bankhead, who you got?
All right, let me run over this list real quick. And I remember I was big on Ozzy's team, but he needed a running back. Did he get that running back help? Was Le'Veon Bell his running back help that he picked up?
He picked up Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon and Todd Gurley.
Yeah,
It's enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ozzy in this game though. Looking at Marin's team, I mean this team is going to be this team will still be all right again this year, but this is the last year for this team. Like it needs to start making some moves, getting younger and a lot better with the youth going forward. But this is probably the last year this team can contend. I hate Keenan Allen's situation, but apparently it sounds like they're going to force feed him the ball a little bit because I just hate Tyrod Taylor. But Ronald Jones is expected to still start week 1. You know what you're going to get from Zeke. I haven't gave up on Courtney Sutton like a lot of people have. I still think he can give you big wide receiver 2 numbers this year. Both Kittle and Kelsey. Yeah, both Kittle and Kelsey. I think Brown takes a step back for sure. He definitely won't match that touchdown number he reached last year, AJ Brown. But yeah, I'm going to go with Ozzy. I'm going to go with Ozzy's team.
All right, Ozzy. Egas, who you got?
I got Ozzy. This should be another close game, to be honest.
Yeah.
Marin has great IDP. Actually, so does Ozzy. But Marin's team she has about a good 3 weeks before Leonard Fournette comes in, and she only has 1 running back. But week 1, Ozzy.
Yeah, I'll just jump in there and say mine is for Ozzy. I don't even think Ronald Jones has much of an impact in the first week. I think they gave him some carries, kind of like similar to what's going to happen with Marlon Mack. Indy, you get some carries, hey, good job, and we're going to get Fournette. And I think every goal line touch is going to be Fournette. So I think that deal kind of screwed over Marin. So Ozzy wins from that position.
At some point in the season, we might be seeing Marin starting Zeke and Tony Pollard.
For me, I'm gonna go.
She need to come get Chris Carson.
I'm
I
actually
think
gonna go with Marin though.
All right, Tico, who you got?
I'm actually going to take Marin in this one because Marin, I like how she's another veteran of this league, you know, and I like veterans. She knows how to put the points together in this league. But I will say this, if I was her, I would be trying to get rid of Rojo ASAP. I will be trying to send Rojo to Rhodes' crazy ass so that he could have a handcuff for Fournette because it seems like a trade that he would go for. But I would definitely try to get some compensation for Rojo right now. So I'm gonna take Marin in this one. But if Marin's listening to this, ship Rojo.
All right, and last one. What do you got, Shani?
I'm actually gonna go with her. I'm gonna go with her too, not because she knows the scoring, but really I'm just looking at the running back situation could be even. I believe in Le'Veon Bell still. He's just gonna get you points just from value alone. But they do have a tough matchup against the Bills, and Adam Gase hates Le'Veon Bell for whatever reason. So that right there could just be a disaster. So after that,
I agree. That was my other point as well that I forgot to mention. Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley. How much are you going to get out of Todd Gurley, and how much is Le'Veon Bell going to play? Because, like you said, Gates fucking hate Bell. So
it's week 1 though. They're both going to play.
But you think about it, you look after that, you got Mike Evans and Godwin. They might take points from each other. You know, somebody's going to have to get taken out of the game because, you know, the DBs on the Saints are no slouch. They actually can lock up. And Mike Evans has some duds, and he has some big games against him. You know, he's not an in-between guy. So I think she's going to sneak out with a win on this week 1.
And
Hey, can I?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to throw something out real quick because Tico had mentioned her sending Jones to Rhodes. And so I actually just did a quick look at both of those and, some possible trades that could, work out. And I was looking at something where she could maybe, send Rhodes Jones and make Jones and one of these young wide receivers she got up here, like a Jefferson or a Cephas or something, to grab Mark Ingram to play out for the year, to just have a running back, because
She can come get Chris Carson.
yeah, but he's going to cost a
Put
lot
that
more
one
than
out
what
there.
Mark Ingram will cost, though. You know what I mean? So,
All right, it doesn't really matter. That's the last one we have, really, because our next game is Rhodes versus Walters, the future probably #1 pick. I like having you in the league, but we're just being honest here. I will be shocked if any of you do it, but let's do it anyways. My pick is for Rhodes, not close. Walters is definitely rebuilding that team. And yeah, that's all I got. Let's go Bankhead. Who you got?
yeah, when you talk about just a miracle, I mean, he needs every single one of these guys to hit a home run on that night. And everyone on this team is second fiddle guys outside of his quarterback. So he just needs a miracle. It's not happening.
He's
Rhodes
got
by
the
a
Miami
landslide.
running back position covered.
Rhodes by a landslide.
Oh, that's
Egas, what were you saying, buddy?
I'm going Rhodes, but Walters has no running back situation. This shit's hilarious. He's got Breida and Howard. His next best running back is Gus Edwards.
It's a rebuild, man.
I know
And
it is. That's hilarious, though.
yeah, well, I don't think he had a great team to begin it with, to be honest. So he had a rough
He
start.
didn't. He's gonna fix that running back situation in the draft that he's a picks.
Yeah.
It's some potential on this bench with Mims and Ayuk and Lazard. It's some potential on that bench. So.
Yeah, I mean, running back's the last one to fix usually. Shawnee, just so we can have it on the record,
Yeah, right.
and
no,
Tico.
No explanation.
I'll go ahead and agree with everybody else. The easiest win Rhodes will have all season. But I will say this, coming from a commissioner standpoint, I would like to see Walter be a little more active, especially with a team like that in a rebuild. So definitely hope he has a plan, because you know how we do on actors over here.
Yeah. And like I said, the cupboard's not fully bare, but it's going to be tough.
Hey,
He ain't
to be
winning
honest,
this
he's got
year,
some
but-
nice young.
No,
receivers.
absolutely. He may not win a game this year, but I'm saying the cupboard's not bare for the future is what I mean.
Exactly. He has a nice little setup for the future.
And then he's almost guaranteed the first #1 pick for probably the next 2 years. So.
That's debatable.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
don't even
forgot.
think he has his own pick.
Oh my God.
Like I said, let's hope he has a plan.
All right, well, that's gonna do it for us. Thanks everybody for being here, and yeah, we'll catch up to everybody next week.
All right, boys. Nice chat.
Hey,